in a quiet Ghanaian village where dreams are often buried under duty. One girl dares to chase the light. Akua, born to weave kente like her mother before her, dreams instead of dancing on the great stages of Accra. But to dance, she must defy her family, the village council, and the heavy weight of expectation. Armed with nothing but rhythm in her bones and fire in her spirit, Akua must choose between obedience and destiny. And every firefly she chases leads her closer to her truth. Inside a clay-walled weaving hut, we see Akua sitting cross-legged at a traditional loom. Her fingers move expertly, but her eyes are distant. Akua's mother, Mama Essie, stern at her, but lovingly.
You let the shuttle lag again. Focus, Akua. A crooked line is a crooked life.
Akua, in a very soft voice, replied to her mother.
Sorry, Mame. I was just thinking.
Mama Essie, in a serious tone, yelled at her, surprised by her distraction.
Think with your hands. These threads will feed you longer than dreams will.
Akua says nothing. We hear the distant sound of drumming, faint.
Under the canopy of night, fireflies flicker. Akua twirls barefoot through the forest, her arms outstretched. Kawabena plays a hand drum rhythm nearby. Kwabena smilingly commented,
"You dance like the fireflies. Follow your lead."
Akua, panting playful and enjoying every bit of the conversation.
Maybe they do. Maybe they see me better than the village does.
One day you'll dance on a real stage, not just here, hidden.
You really think so?
I know so.
They both pause. The night surrounds them beautiful and free. Kwabena smiling. But even fireflies flicker when the wind turns cruel.
The village discovers her secret. Early in the morning, Akua is summoned by the council to the village square. Villagers murmur. Elder Intim stands tall. In an angry tone, he shouted,
"You dishonor your mother and our ancestors, a weaver's daughter, dancing in the bush like a spirit girl."
Mame Essie, Akua's mother, ashamed. The one thing she wants to know is why Akua will choose this route.
Akua, why would you hide this from me?
Akua, with tears in her eyes, explained to her mother.
Because you wouldn't understand. My feet were not born for weaving. They were born for dancing.
Gasps from the crowd. Akua stands firm. Akua, stronger.
I want more. I want to try. Even if I fail.
And in that moment, a girl stood taller than tradition, not because she defied it, but because she dared to dream beyond it. Subsequent to the meeting, and knowing how angry the Council of Elders are, Akua made up her mind to leave the village to the city Accra. At the dusty bus station, Akua holds a cloth satchel. Her mother approaches with a pendant carved from ebony wood. Mama Essie whispers,
This was your father's. Take it, not to remember us, but to remind yourself where you began.
They hug. Kwabena nods from afar, a silent promise in his eyes. And so she left, not just for the city, but for the fire inside her. The world did not yet know her name, but the fireflies always had.
They say the city swallows those who come without tea, but Akua came not to be swallowed.
She came to bite. Akua steps off a rusty bus into the chaos of Accra. Car horns, market cries, gospel music, dust. She clutches her cloth bag, eyes wide open in admiration of the city. Akua walks up to a modern dance studio building with tall glass and metal gates. Students in activewear laugh and stretch outside. One of the dancers whispers,
Is she here to clean the floor or dance on it?
Akua overhears her, but stiffens and keeps walking. As Akua enters the studio, she thought to herself, she had no shoes made for stages, no training but trees, but her heart had memorized the rhythm of roots. The night before the audition, Akua sits alone on the rooftop, holding the carved pendant from her mother. She replays a voice message from Kwabena.
When you dance, remember the fireflies. They never ask the forest's permission to glow.
Akua rises up to rehearse. She dances by moonlight. The day is finally here for the audition. Akua enters the room. A panel of stern judges sits behind a table. Akua steps to the center. One judge voiced out.
You may begin.
Akua starts. At first, she's unsure. Then her body remembers. The night dances, the forest rhythm, the fireflies. Her steps transform. The room fades. The camera swirls around her. And in that moment, the city disappeared. There was only the girl, the beat, and the dream refusing to die. After a long wait, the auditions is over. The list is pinned to the board. Students gather to check their names on the list. Akua hesitates, then walks forward. Her name is there. Accepted. Tears in her eyes. She bows her head, then lifts it with pride. She came with nothing but rhythm, and left with a future shaped by every step she refused to take back. She had crossed the threshold of dreams. But dreams, like fire, don't just warm, they burn. Inside a massive sunlit dance studio, dancers move in synchrony, except Akua, who's a beat behind. Coach Ama claps loudly, frustrated.
This is not your village forest, Akua. Precision matters. Expression matters. Again.
And Yonam, under her breath, whispers,
Maybe she should go back to the Fireflies.
Akua hears it. Her eyes dim slightly, but she keeps dancing. She had danced under stars. Now she danced under judgment. Akua dances alone in the studio after hours. She stumbles again. Frustrated, she falls to her knees, opens her satchel. A letter from Kwabena. She sobbingly reads.
The fire inside you is bolder than this city. Don't let them pour water on it. Burn anyway.
Akua looks up at the mirror. She wipes her tears. She gets back up. And like the first spark from flint, she rose again. After months of rehearsals, it's now time for Akua to dance on stage for the first time. Dancers get ready backstage, and Yonam gets the spotlight role. Akua is placed in the back row. Coach Ama to Akua quietly.
Let's see if your fire can survive the shadows.
Akua nods. No words, just breath. The drum beat begins. On stage, Yonam leads. Akua blends into the back until a final sequence, and Yonam falters. Akua steps forward instinctively, improvising. The audience erupts. Coach Ama to herself.
The fire knows its own time.
She was not born to be hidden. Not in forests, not in cities, not behind anyone. Her fire danced, not for approval, but because it was alive. Fame is loud, but sometimes the louder the world claps, the quieter your heart becomes. Akua sits alone in a VIP lounge. Laughter surrounds her. She stares at a glass of untouched wine. Her fingers lightly touch her carved pendant. Coach Ama, approaching smiling.
Akua, smile. The world loves you.
Yes, but do I still love me?
That evening, Akua sits in her apartment. A letter from the village. She curiously opens the letter and reads.
Mame is not well. She asks for you. Come soon. If you still remember the way.
Akua packs a small bag. The pendant goes in last. The city had fed her fame, but home had fed her fire. Akua traveled back to the village. She walked down the familiar dirt path. Children run to greet her. Elders stare, some proud, some unsure. She reaches her home. Mame Essie lies resting. Mame Essie weakly voice out while smiling.
You dance well, child, but did you dance for yourself or for them?
Akua silently lays her head beside her mother, just glad to be home. Kwabena gathers village kids to drum and dance. Akua watches from a distance, moved. That night, she joins them, barefoot, smiling. No stage, no lights. Just rhythm, just fireflies. Sometimes you must walk through the world to find yourself, only to return to where you were first lit aflame. After spending a month in the village, Akua returns back to the academy. She walks through the academy gates again, greeted by flowers and a cheering crowd. Coach Ama steps up, smiling wide.
The prodigal star returns. Akua, the European company has confirmed. 6 countries, all expenses paid. This is the moment, Akua.
Akua hesitates, then forces a smile. Days later, Akua is invited for an interview at a glossy TV studio. We see Akua sitting in a chair with lights and cameras. The host began,
"From a village girl to a global icon, what's next for Ghana's brightest flame?"
Akua, after a pause,
I'm still figuring that out. Sometimes the brightest flame burns from the smallest hearth.
Days passed. Akua receives a call from Kwabena.
You left a spark here, Akua. The kids are dancing every night. They even made up a move and named it after you.
Akua, smiling.
I left a piece of me there, too.
You don't have to choose, you know? Maybe the Fireflies both ways.
Akua sits alone in the studio at night. In one hand, a contract from the European dance company. In the other, her carved pendant. She places both on the mirror, lost in thought. Fame was a door wide open, but legacy? Legacy was a seed planted at home. Akua finally made a decision. A few days later at a rehearsal, Coach Ama walks into the studio and approaches Akua. In an unbelieved tone, she asks,
You're turning down the offer?
Akua, confident.
I'm going back. To teach. To build. To burn new paths.
Coach Ama stares, then nods slowly.
Then dance your truth, Akua. That's what fire is for.
Akua finally returns home, to her roots, and other to bring her dreams to life. Akua opens a simple open-air shelter with drums and mirrors. Children twirl as Akua claps and guides them. Kwabena plays nearby. A painted sign reads, "The Firefly Movement, Akua School of Dance." She had chased fireflies once. Now she became one, lighting the forest for those still dancing in the dark. Every fire has an end, but a firefly returns with every dusk. A new dawn. Firefly Movement School has expanded. Drums hang on walls, children stretch under an open structure. Akua, now in her 30s, walks through slowly, watching them with joy. Akua, softly.
Same spirit. Same soil. New steps.
Afia, a bright-eyed girl, tries to dance. She fumbles a dance step. The other children laugh. She runs off, embarrassed. Akua follows. Akua taps her shoulder, gently.
I once fell too. Right there, under that same tree.
Pointing toward the tree nearby. Afia, in a sad tone, replied,
But you're perfect.
Akua gazed at her, smiling.
No, I just never stopped dancing.
She once chased fireflies alone. Now she dances with 1,000 glowing lights beside her. Akua now feels fulfilled to have finally achieved her dream. One evening, Akua and Kwabena sit by a fire, surrounded by children. She tells her story, the first dance, the forbidden dream, the fireflies.
The world will tell you to walk in a straight line, but your rhythm may move like the river. Let it. That's your truth.
A child, awestruck, she questioned.
And the fireflies? Are they real?
Akua, smiling.
They're real. Every time you dance your own way, one lights up.
She dreamed with her feet. She loved with her fire. She built not a stage, but a spark in the dark. And when she danced, Africa danced with her.